We are back with today's talker and the breakout star of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding.
That's right. None of the 2 billion people who watch that will ever forget Bishop Michael Curry or his spiritual and spirited sermon on the redemptive power of love.
Well, now he has a book out featuring that sermon and a few others. It is called The Power of Love: Sermons, Reflections, and Wisdom to Uplift and Inspire. And Michael Curry, the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, is with us. When you come to our studio, we're always happy.
Oh, yes, we are. Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning.
Gosh, you always inspire us and leave us and feeling so positive, and this has been a hard week. You know, we start in Pittsburgh and what happened in a house of worship.
Yeah.
And, you know, the rabbi there, Rabbi Myers, gave kind of a talk at a vigil the day after, and he said, he was really honest. You know, he was saying, like, the scriptures say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. But he said, I want those 11 people back.
Yeah.
How do we deal with grief and in our faith, and how do they coincide?
Well, we deal with grief honestly and forthrightly. When it hurts, and don't pretend that it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And that rabbi was wise. And when it hurts, even to tell God, it hurts. And I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. But the second thing is do it together. Part of the Jewish tradition is you never let someone, a dead body, be by itself. We do it together because there's something about being in community with each other that I can hold you up when you can't hold yourself up, and you can hold me when I can't. That's part of the power. And then sometimes we have to live with the rituals that can sustain us. Rituals of faith have existed a long time. They've actually been beta tested a long time ago. They've been around, and they actually have the capacity to hold us and to provide a space where God's energy can begin to move in and among us. Some of those are the ways that you walk through grief, not avoiding it, but walk through it, live with it, and find life at the same time.
One of the things you always say is love wins, like love wins. And you've got a book out that we'll talk about it in a minute, but you were in a church yesterday and a question was asked, like, does love always win? And what's your answer to that?
I was in England in Suffolk Cathedral, and one of the questions was, can this way of love, does it really work? And the truth is, nothing else has. It is the only thing that will work. If you think of love purely as a sentimental thing, and it's partially that, then it doesn't make sense. But if you realize that love certainly is Jesus of Nazareth, and as Moses taught, love is about unselfish, selfless living that actually seeks the good and the welfare and the well-being of others, even sometimes above my own unenlightened self-interest. That selfless living, unselfish, actually has the capacity. It's the only thing that has ever changed anything for the good. I mean, think about yourself. Who are the people who've actually made a difference in your life? They've actually made a difference in your life, not because they were doing something for themselves, but because they actually cared about you. It was you, not themselves. Think about any kind of social change that has ever happened in human history. It has been people who have been thinking about more than self, who've been thinking about others. Think about first responders. They don't know who they're going in to help, but they do it because it's selfless. The truth is, no good created and done by human beings has ever been done from the motivation of selfishness. It has always been selfless service and giving, which is what love actually is.
And it's transforming for the giver of self, sacrificial love, and certainly for the receiver. You write something in your book that the opposite of love isn't hate. What is it?
The opposite of love is self-centeredness. And hate is a derivative of that. And if you think about it, it actually does make sense that if love is self-giving, selflessness, a willingness to give, as Ignatius of Loyola said, to give and not to count the cost, the willingness to do that, the opposite of love really is self-centeredness. And the truth is, it doesn't work. Self-centeredness doesn't work over the long haul. Because the truth is, if we all live self-centered existence, then what that means is I'm the center of the universe, you're the periphery, and you're expendable. And if we all live that way, you don't even have a society. Democracy depends on that. Human community, human survival and life on this planet depends on our capacity to be unselfish, to be selfless and giving. And the miracle is that when we do that, we actually get blessed ourselves.
Yes, we do.
We actually do.
You are always a blessing to us when you're here, Bishop Curry.
Thank
you guys are a
Love when
blessing.
you
Thank
come
you
to
so
really are.
much. His book is called The Power of Love. You can find more about it at today.com/shop. Thank you.